Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to be talking about twin flames. I get a lot of questions about what a twin flame is, or like why do I think I have one, and just various questions like that. So I figured I would answer some questions. So what is a twin flame? A twin flame is like your highest level of soulmate. They're someone that you are directly connected to, like you guys have the same like higher soul basically, and you communicate with each other through that source. Sometimes you can, be in the same lifetime together, sometimes you're not. So if you meet your twin flame in your lifetime, then typically you have some sort of mission or purpose to fulfill while you're alive. If you don't happen to meet them, I do know that there are quite a few twins that kind of one stays, in higher dimensions and the other comes to Earth, and vice versa. So you kind of flip flop. And if you're not incarnated with them, you will still have like the telepathic communication where you can basically talk to each other via your like mental abilities, or you'll just get like feelings. Sometimes you can honestly, even if you are both on Earth, you can feel them with you, and it's more so you're feeling their higher self with you, which is basically you. It's kind of confusing, but you are basically trying to find yourself in the journey of life and to complete all the failed or unsuccessful life lessons that you may not have succeeded in learning in past lifetimes. So, for instance, I 100% came back to Earth, or to Earth this time, to learn patience and to learn how to let go. There's going to be a whole other video on life lessons, but for the most part, I 100% know that I am very impatient. So that is something that I know that I came here to learn, so that I could, release needing to have control over every situation, or needing to control the timing of things. And if you are on a twin flame journey, you will 100% figure out that you do not have very much control over your, I don't want to say that because I don't want to like take away your power, but like you don't necessarily have the physical control over anyone but yourself. So if you are in a twin flame union or a connection, you cannot control your twin. Like you cannot say, all right, you need to wake up tomorrow and come back to me. That won't happen. The person, your counterpart that you are in a communication with or not in communication with, they have their own life lessons to learn. And essentially, as soon as both of you heal all your wounds and get all your karma dealt with and things like that, then you can come back together. Now, not all twins signed up to come back together. Some just, before you came to Earth, you decided, okay, I want to meet you. I want you to teach me X, Y, and Z, and then I want you to set me free. Some, plan to be together, get married, and have, a family and things like that. Only you will know what you are destined to do. No one can really tell you what you're destined to do, and you will find so many people who want to. And that's just them wanting to control their own situation and have some sort of control over how their timeline plays out. And so what better way than to instill their feelings onto someone else's situation. I've had this happen to me a handful of times, and I kind of got wrapped up in it. And I will say that trying to control your connection or control anyone in your connection is just a dead end. So the only thing that you can control, or that you have any control over, is yourself and learning your life lessons and basically just staying on your own path. I call it staying in your own lane. So once you figure out what your lane is, you should stay there. You should work on it diligently. Do everything and anything you can to better yourself. That's what this mission is all about, because the better you that you can be, the better you will be for those around you. And I've learned that on my specific journey, like, I'm a healer, 100%. I know that the people that come into my life, my coworkers, my friends, random strangers that I meet at the grocery store, anyone that comes into my life, I know that I'm helping in some way. I have a gift, I have a light that just emanates from me, and I don't have to do pretty much anything to make that happen. It just naturally occurs. And it took me a little while to realize this. I never really understood what it meant when people say, oh, you're a light worker, or, you know, you're this, you're that. What it means is when you're in alignment and you have, you know, basically source, God, whatever, like pulsating through you and elevating you to the level that you strived to come here for, once you get closer and closer to that level, you will just naturally help the people around you. It's kind of like when people go to a sauna and they go into, you know, the steam room, and that steam that's just naturally in the air, you know, detoxifying, you know, sucking out all the impurities in your skin. That's pretty much what the light is that shines out of people who are here to do good work and to serve for humanity. So once I figured out, okay, all I need to do is work on myself. Now, whether that brings my twin back to me or whether I meet someone completely different, that is, you know, up to God, honestly. I 100% trust and believe that if my twin and I are meant to be together, then we will be. And there's really not anything that I need to do besides work on myself to make that happen. Because honestly, anyone who came here with pure intentions came here to basically raise human consciousness and help this planet get back to what it used to be, and to not be such a negative environment. A lot of people will say, like, you're not going to hell when you die if you do something bad, like we're already in hell. And I 100% believe that. If you watch the news or anything like that, you will understand that that is a very true and accurate statement. And for the people who are like, oh, you know, I'm not with my twin because someone put a curse on me or X, Y, and Z. Like, I mean, there are negative forces, obviously, everywhere, but the power that you let it have over you is more controlling or influential than the curse or the, you know, jealousy or whatever the low vibrational energy that someone directed towards you. That has less power than you. So if you're in like a low level vibration and you try to interject that into your connection, or, you know, think about your twin in a negative light, that's going to impact you coming together more so than, you know, Susie, who's like, oh, you know, I don't want them to be together, blah, blah, blah. So if you believe that there's something negative or, you know, evil that's keeping you apart, then that's what you believe. So what, you know, what you put out is what you get back. And if you're believing that someone or something is out to get you and your connection, then really it's just your internal fears that are creating paranoia in your mind. And as soon as you know, deal with your own internal negativity, which is all that is, paranoia stems from you. It doesn't stem from anyone around you. If you are having like an actual like intuitive pickup and you know that like something definitely happened that, you know, you sense, then you need to ask yourself, why is that coming? Why am I attracting that? Why is that type of environment or that type of situation, you know, being shown to me or being directed towards me? Because a lot of the negative situations that we get wrapped up in, or that we get, you know, drawn attention to, is simply just showing you something inside of yourself that isn't healed, something that you need to work on, and something that is from, you know, whatever point on is going to cause havoc in your life, whether it be with your twin flame connection or, you know, any connection in your life. So back to my original, you know, this whole purpose is for you to find yourself. It's for you to, I can tell you right now, when I met my twin, my whole life changed, and not in like, people are like, oh my God, it's gonna be so amazing. Maybe eventually it will be amazing, and it is amazing. Like, our souls like love each other like unconditionally, and that is a fact. But like our physical experience has not been, shoot for the moon stars type of situation. But what it did cause me to do was take stock of my life and my lifestyle that I was living and the people I had around me. And I for sure started cleaning up my own energy, because I was like, oh, what am I doing? Why am I living like this? And I didn't like who I was. I didn't like who I'd been in the past. I didn't like, some of my personality traits, and all of the things that were shown to me via my twin or the people around us were all things that I needed to change within myself. So I didn't go on this like stark crazy like mad hunt to get my twin back. Like, a lot of stuff that you read online, it sounds really crazy, and like I've been crazy towards my exes. Like, I can 100% say that I've been that crazy girl, but with my twin I didn't necessarily get that way. And I don't know if it's because like I'd already healed past that point. Like, I had already healed that type of energy out of my internal being. Like, I didn't have that in me anymore. But like, I don't know, I feel like I gained more strength, honestly, when my twin and I separated. Like, I didn't get that like weak, I can't go on without you type mentality that I see a lot on the internet. I pretty much took it to, like, I hit rock bottom at one point. There was pure chaos, and I was like, what is going on? So I, went into isolation mode. I took myself out of every situation that I was in, besides like my career at the time. Like, I literally pushed away every single person in my life that was connected to that situation. Any mutual friend, like, I cut off. I like don't talk to any of those people anymore. The only people that I really do talk to are people that had nothing to do with the situation between him and I. And I talk to those people because like I trust them. They've never once given me any reason to, they're actually the only people that support this situation. Like, they see what I'm in, they've seen the signs, they've seen the craziness around the situation. And sometimes even like my twin's name will pop into their head randomly, and they're like, I don't even know why their name popped into my head. Like, I don't know this person. And like, past guys that I've dated, like, they couldn't even remember their names. Like, they'd be like, what's his name again? Like, so I don't know. There's just a lot of craziness surrounding this connection, and that's why I kind of knew what it was before I met him, but I was very much in denial, and I was like, he wasn't anything like what I would want in a person. So I was very much in denial, and I believe that I was in denial because what he showed me, like what I saw in myself, I did not like. And it's a really hard pill to swallow when you don't like yourself, like the things that you're doing, or, lifestyles that you're living. It's not easy to face and say, all right, you're doing not good things. You need to take a look in the mirror and figure out why you're doing this. So that's exactly what I did. So I went back to square one, which is my childhood, and I realized that a lot of my behavior as an adult came from my childhood. So immediately I was like, I want to heal this. I want to move on from this forever. I don't want to keep taking this around with me, like dragging it around like a freaking dead horse. Like, I want to leave it where it belongs, in the past. So like, for the last 2-ish years, I've been working on just healing every single thing in my life that has caused me distress, or that has made me feel like rejected in some sort of way, or just made me feel unlovable. And a lot of it stemmed from my childhood. And I can look back at every single interpersonal relationship that I've had as an adult and pinpoint it back to one of my parents. And it's pretty crazy that like your parents have such a profound effect on you throughout your whole life. And that is one of the reasons why I have been such a stickler about who I procreate with, or if I do at all. Like, I would not want to. I think I turned out very well. I take pride in who I am now as a person, but my odds were stacked against me. I had an alcoholic father and a drug addict for a mother, so I could have taken a very, very ugly turn had I not had, my own personal desire and will to be a completely different type of person. So, going back to my childhood, it's not easy. Like, it's been some of the toughest, most emotional work that I've ever had to do. Last year I worked with an intuitive life coach, and he helped me go back into past lives and see things that had happened in past lives, and that was really hard too. So, but I will say that, like, the childhood, the fresher pain was definitely probably the hardest to go through, and it was more lingering. So once I, dove deep, which is funny because I can't even swim in this life, so the thought of diving into like deep waters is not something I would ever do. But emotionally speaking, I have taken a lot of deep dives, and I am trying my hardest to, just be a better person, and not even for myself, like, not to be selfish and, attract, the perfect love. Like, I want that, yes, but I take pride in just being a good person in general, being kinder, opening my heart to people. It's helped me even in the career that I'm in now, like, just to be a better person towards other people and not judge people so easily, and to kind of, give people benefit of the doubt, or just to have compassion. Even if someone is living a way that I don't necessarily agree with, I can kind of not put myself in their shoes, but just offer them the common decency to be like, all right, we're all here, we're all trying. And it's not always easy, and the whole survival of the fittest mentality is 100% true. Like, literally only the strong survive, because I've been very weak in other lifetimes and I didn't survive. So to know, like, where I've come from and where I am now, even in this life, like, I started from nothing, and I think I have brought myself up pretty high, and I definitely think a lot more highly of myself than I used to. I've always had a confidence to me, but looking back on some of the behaviors that I've had, I wouldn't necessarily look at myself that great. I think I've always kind of carried that with me. It's kind of like self-sabotage. Like, you don't agree with how the person is acting or how you're acting, but you keep doing it anyway, and you just kind of like keep fulfilling that negative loop of self-chatter. Like, you're not making good decisions, like, you're a horrible person, or you're being selfish, or whatever the case may be. Basically looking within yourself and seeing the parts that you don't like. It's like when you have an addiction, and they say, like, the first step is, awareness and admitting that you have a problem. So as soon as you figure out what is wrong or what you don't like, fix it. And that brings me back to, like, only you can fix yourself. You can't fix anyone else. So what better way to spend your time if you're not with the person that you want to be with, or the person you think you're meant to be with, than to fix you, look inside of you, and just work diligently to be a good person, and to be, like, someone that you think God would approve of. God is unconditional and loving no matter what, but obviously it's kind of like with your children. If you have a child, you love them unconditionally, but if they're messing up left and right, and they're just being a poor quality of person, you're not going to want to be around them, and you're not going to want to, like, it's going to be harder to love them unconditionally. You're going to do it anyway, because I know some parents who have children who are just awful, and they still love them. They 100% just love them. And that is kind of why some of these people who have these twins that are, you know, in relationships or, you know, haven't been that kind to them, or, you know, do things that just aren't very good quality, and they still love them because they have an unconditional bond. And no matter what happens, that's not to say that you should let someone walk all over you. You have to have self-respect and self-worth and X, Y, and Z, but you're still going to love that person no matter what. And whether you choose to be with them or not is completely separate from the love you have for them. You may not always agree with what someone does, but you can just love them anyway. It's kind of hard. I think that's where that love your neighbor thing comes from the Bible. Like, your neighbor could be a piece of crap, but God wants you to love them anyway. And I know this for a fact: if someone is unkind to me, like, your ego wants to be like, oh yeah, like, and get back at them. But your heart, your soul is kind of just like, wow, they must be really hurting inside. And I just need to send them some love, because I don't want my negative energy coming back at me. So, and I know that I can be a pretty heinous person, so I would never want to put that energy out to have it come back on myself. So the whole, you know, treat others how you would like to be treated is also a good lesson. And I mean, you're not always going to get what you put out back in the same way, because there is a perception. Everyone perceives things differently. Everyone has different hearts. So, you know, not everyone's gonna be able to meet you at the level that you're at. And that's where, this is another lesson that I've had to come into, you know, direct contact with, is my expectations. Like, I hold myself at such a high standard that I hold everyone else at these high standards, and not everyone can meet those standards. So I've had to kind of bring myself back down a little bit and kind of let myself be okay, you know, not being perfect all the time and not having things be perfect all the time. Growing up, it's all just like a self-soothing mechanism that I created, because growing up, my life was chaos. There was always arguing and fighting. My house was a mess. Like, there was just so many things. You know, periodically, like, CPS would be trying to take me from my mother. So, like, I had all this chaos in my life. And once I was old enough to make my own decisions, I kind of just became, like, literally a perfectionist. Now, I have some, you know, astrological reasons why I'm a perfectionist as well, but more so psychologically than anything. I just, having things be perfect gave me a sense of control. And I was able to, if it's perfect, then, you know, it can't be wrong, right? So once I got to this kind of realization that that's why I need things to be perfect, I've kind of let up on myself a little bit. And, you know, if I have bad days, I have bad days. I'm not perfect. And that is a realization that I had to come to terms with, that no one expects me to be perfect. And if someone does expect me to be perfect, that's a reflection of them, and I need to send them some compassion and send them some love, and to let them know that it's okay, that they don't have to be perfect as well. Being yourself, that is the way that you can be perfect, and that's what I've had to learn. So I have been working, you know, day by day to just try to be more me, be myself. Making this video, honestly, is something that I have been kind of afraid to make, because, like, not everyone knows what a twin flame is. Not everyone understands what it is. And I've always been kind of, like, skeptical to, you know, release my secret to the world, or to my friends or people that I'm around on a daily basis, because, like, I didn't want to be judged by them. I didn't want them to be like, oh, she's crazy. But, like, honestly, if someone thinks I'm crazy, then I'm okay with that, because a lot of the stuff I go through is pretty fucking crazy. So I'm crazy. Anyways, I just want you all to know that if someone judges you in that way and labels you in that way, then that's a reflection of them, and you shouldn't take it personally. And if you are a twin flame yourself, be proud of it, because honestly, God only chose a few there's more than a few, but not everyone's a twin flame. Not everyone got to come here and, you know, have this mission to fulfill. And there's a little bit of pressure that comes with it. So, you know, that's another reason why you need to kind of take it easy on yourself and not judge yourself so harshly, because like we all have crap that we go through. We all have reasons for being here, and like who is anyone else to judge you for what your purpose is, why you're here for? Like no one of any good caliber would do that. So if someone's going to judge you for your beliefs or the things that you feel, then, you know, those people should take a look at the mirror and find out why they have such high judgments on someone that they have no idea about. And I've quite honestly, I've witnessed like other people getting their karma, and I follow a girl and I love her, and you know, she talks about people getting their karma and, you know, sitting and watching it, and I've actually kind of noticed it happening in my life too. And I'm such a like kind-hearted person that even when someone gets their karma, like I feel bad for them. So it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. So don't wish ill on anyone, obviously, but just sit back. You don't have to do anything. If anyone sends you any kind of like negative vibes or whatever, or judges you, just sit back, stay in your lane, and you will see that they will be taken care of or shown whatever they're judging you for in due time. So don't ever bring yourself down to someone else's level. And, you know, it can be tempting to, I'm very much a believer of like love and light, but don't take anyone's shit. So it's a fine balance. And that is another thing that we are here to learn, balance. So give someone some good balance if they come after you. But no, for the most part, I mean, I'm quirky. I love it. I love being quirky. If I wasn't quirky, I would be boring, and who wants to be boring? I am kind of boring though. I'm a little bit of a grandma. I did all my partying when I was younger, so now I'm just like a homebody, and I love it. I love being with my zoo, and I just enjoy like relaxing. I do enjoy, you know, some time with friends, but for the most part, if you are on like an intense journey in your life, a lot of times you will be isolated. You will go into an isolation period, and it can get kind of lonely, but it's honestly just better because you don't really necessarily have the energetic ability to mix with others more than you need to. So what that means is like you are digging so deep and you're dealing with so much that if you were to be around other energies that could potentially, you know, throw you off course, the universe is going to kind of try to protect you from that and to like keep you from engaging with others who may be in their own storm at the time. So, you know, what happens with Mother Nature when two storms collide? Like, it's chaos. So for the most part, if you know, you notice like, oh, I keep trying to make plans with somebody, or I keep trying to go out, I keep trying to do this, and like they keep falling through, or you know, whatever the case may be, do not fight it. Let it go. If you're meant to, you know, make plans with someone or do something, it will happen effortlessly, and there will be nothing that you have to do for it. You just kind of like let it flow. But, you know, being your own best friend is something that you will have to kind of grasp during your journey, and it's perfectly okay. It's honestly a really great lesson for codependency. I had to learn to kind of break out of that. Another thing from childhood that I had to let go of. You know, I didn't have like that. I had attachment issues. So as an adult, like sometimes I could get very codependent, and you know, now I feel like the universe is kind of trying to like push me back out into the world and, you know, mingle with people more, and I'm like, but I like being by myself. It's safe here. I don't have to deal with anybody's crap. Just kidding. No, I went out a couple weekends ago and I had a blast, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I can, you know, go back out into the world and have fun again. Like, I don't have to isolate myself. However, is freezing right now, so I'm definitely a homebody. I always joke and say that I'm like a bear in the winter. I could just hibernate and be happy. As long as I had some like good food and something good to watch on TV, I'd be okay. And Lily, of course, because I love snuggling with her and the kitties. I'll just go on a rant about about my zoo. They've definitely been like very supportive during this journey that I've been on. And it's very, reassuring to me that I was blessed with such a wonderful group of little animals to keep me company. And honestly, I was sent the right people, if that makes sense. So for instance, when it was time for me to do like my energy healing and to like dive deep, I found a really great person to help me do that. And he was kind of a no nonsense type of person, and that's very much how I am, so I respected and appreciated that. We both kind of could like see each other, like, I don't know, I was able to just completely take my wall down. I didn't have to hide anything from this person, so it was very beneficial that like he came into my life. And I kind of fought it in the first place because it was a little pricey, and I was kind of like, I don't think I can afford this. But then I just did it, and I healed tons of things, and then we kind of separated for a while. I just needed a break, and then I got to a point where I was ready to start doing more work and like doing my inner child healing more so. And, I kind of put it out to the universe. I had a conversation with God, and I was like, look, I need help. Like, I can't do this on my own anymore. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I was kind of like in like a holding pattern, and hand to God, my energy guy reached out to me the next day, and I was like, okay. And he was no longer charging like the astronomical price that he was charging, and now he's donation based. So I was like, holy crap, like this is amazing, because like I really needed his help to do what I needed to do, like my final like finishing touches. And I was very, very, very grateful that he came back in when he did, because like I needed help. I wasn't sure which way to turn, and it happened at the right time. So I definitely believe that the right people will flow into your life to help you, and you just kind of have to pay attention and be willing and be open. That's the main part of it. Like, you can't go into something that is out of your comfort zone closed off. You have to be able to, open your mind and open your heart, and to trust that the work you're about to, partake on is for your best interest and your highest good. And that's pretty much all you need to ask for. So if you're needing help for something, pretty much just pray to whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, and just say, I need help. Please show me for my highest good. And whatever you need will come to you. And that is 100% certain. It's happened to me so many times that I can't even begin to describe like how amazing it is when it does happen. Like what you asked for shows up, and you're like, wow, this is real. A lot of people, like with the whole like twin flame thing, they don't necessarily believe it because they've never experienced it. So that's why if someone doesn't believe me or someone thinks I'm crazy, I just like send them love, and I'm like, okay, they're ignorant. They don't know. So like, that's not anything towards me. They just simply don't know. It's kind of like I don't have judgments about politics because I have no idea. Like, I don't know any of it. So I would never sit there and be like, this person, that person. I don't pay attention to it, so I don't know personally. I would never attack someone because I don't believe in what they believe in, or I don't know what they believe in. So I'm ignorant when it comes to politics. So I would never interject myself into that situation because I don't know. So it's kind of like the same for other people. So don't get upset at them. Just let them go. Let them believe what they need to believe and feel what they need to feel, and you listen to your heart. And that is my advice for everyone, is to just, follow your heart, and you, at the end of the day, will end up happier than anyone who doesn't follow their heart and doesn't follow their gut and, stays on the path that they've chosen in life. out of fear or, you know, thoughts on what anyone else thinks. So that's pretty much it. Just listen to your heart. Follow the signs. There's always going to be signs and like synchronicities and things like that. I'm going to do a whole other video on signs and synchronicities because there's just way too many to add into this video. But if you ever need proof that someone is your twin or, you know, X, Y, and Z, just ask God. He'll send you a sign. It happens all the time. That is it for this week. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you have any requests for future videos, also please comment those down below, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.